Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I have to drop out of my bed and do 100 push-ups every day. I have to discipline my eating. I have to turn off the news. I can't watch the news. I'm not going to have a reoccurrence of cancer in my body. I have to drink 12 glasses of water a day. I have to take my zinc and my saw palmetto. I have to take my wheatgrass. I hate it. I hate it. But life is a fight for territory. I'm fighting for my health. What working on yourself does, by setting aside time to work on your mind, it causes you to begin to reflect on yourself, to take personal inventory, and to upgrade your game plan and your strategy, but it increases your faith. See, it's something that continues to grow. What I earn is a reflection of what I believe subconsciously that I deserve. They did this study with these senior citizens in their 80s and said, you look back on your life, what do you like to say right now? The majority of them said they have regrets of the things that they didn't do, and now they're going to their graves not knowing if they could have done it.
You have not because you ask not. If you would only ask, well, Steve, what do I ask for? Everything. You want a relationship with God where God is not only your king, he's your companion, he's your friend. You know how you can tell your friend anything? That's the relationship he's looking for. You ain't got to go to church to get that. You had that at your house. You probably had to go to his church to get it, but you can have a relationship with God on your own. When you ask God for something, it's a very simple thing. See, you have not because you ask not. You got to start asking God for big stuff. Stop wasting God's time with all this little stuff. Lord, help me make my rent. Don't he always? Lord, help me make my rent. You keep coming up with it. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe you should ask God for a mortgage? I mean, look, man, if God don't give you the money for rent, if you quit asking for rent and ask for mortgage, you don't think God got mortgage money? But you know why you don't ask God for the mortgage? Because you keep getting in the way. It says you have not because you ask not. But you say, well, I don't have a job that dictates I would afford a mortgage. I don't make enough money. You think God don't know that? He said ask. You have not because you ask not. So you rule yourself out of the mortgage simply because you won't ask.
Joshua sent men in to spy out her city, the city of Jericho. Word got out that they were there, and Rahab hid the spies in her house, made sure that they were safe. In return, the spies told her that whoever was in her house when the Israelites attacked the city, they would be spared. Rahab and her relatives were the only ones that survived. That was the turning point. Rahab married a man from the tribe of Judah. They had a son named Boaz. Boaz had a son named Jesse. Jesse had a son named David. That means Rahab is in the family line of Jesus. If you only knew how God can not only bring you out of a mess, but still do something awesome with your life. Rahab is now listed in Hebrews 11 as one of the heroes of faith. Imagine someone telling her while she was still in that profession that one day you're going to make such an impact, you're going to do something so significant that thousands of years from now, people are going to be talking about you. She would have thought, you have the wrong person. Do you see what I do for a living? The mistakes I've made, the culture I come out of, none of that is going to stop what our God is about to do. You may have plenty of reasons why you're limited. You've seen your best days. You made too many mistakes. God is saying to you, if you only knew what I'm about to do, if you only knew the favor I'm about to show you, if you only knew the doors I'm about to open, the healing, the restoration, if you only knew the gifts God has for you, then you would ask for living water. That means you would ask big. You would believe big. You'd get rid of the guilt. Let go of the discouragement. What didn't work out, mistakes you've made, and get ready for something that you haven't seen. This is a new day. God is doing a new thing. Chains that have held you back are being broken right now. Strongholds in your mind are coming down. Yes, you lost that coat of many colors. Don't worry. You're about to see a robe of greater influence, greater authority. God is about to connect the dots. The bad grapes, the disappointments, the people that tried to stop you, it's all working for your good. I believe and declare you're coming into promotion like you've never seen. Like Rahab, favor that you didn't deserve. Like the woman at the well, you're not only going to be restored, healed, and free, but you're going to impact your family, your city, your world.
Who's the most important president today? Trump. And who's the second most important? Obama. Obama got replaced with a new president. Do you remember when Bush was president, everybody thought the world is at its end, you know? Oh my gosh, we're all gonna die, and you know, this is just horrible stuff, you know? Well, Obama came. And now we have Trump. Everybody gets replaced. Presidents die. Can anybody here name me the 15th president of America? Who's the 16th? Who's the 15th? You don't know. But do you remember, do you know during that time he's the most important person in America? He's the 16th, okay? Who's the 7th? No one knows. You know, first one is Washington. Second one is, Adams. Third one is Jefferson. After that, you're stuck. Unless if you're 17 years old still in school and it's part of your history class homework. What's the point here? Guys, we're all going to be replaced. This isn't that big of a deal. Okay, this is a replacement game. But in business, if you understand this concept, your business value goes higher if you replace the things that you do on a daily basis. That's your job as a business owner, to constantly replace your abilities. So what are we talking about? Number one, what are some habits that you do on a daily basis that are $10 an hour habits? So I took a sheet of paper and I wrote for the entire day what I was doing. And then right next to it, I wrote which one of them I had to do, which one of them somebody else could do. And then next to what somebody else could do, I wrote the price tag on how much that cost. I went and hired a person to do it. And then I saw the habit that pays the most, I did that part. Because it's a replacement game. Number two, know who's a seasonal employee and who's not. Who knows the difference between this? By the way, how many of you guys have employees? I'm just curious to know what audience we're speaking. Who has employees here? Who has employees? Who's a salesperson here? You just sell, you're not a sales leader, you just sell. You're a realtor, raise your hand. Who's a sales leader here? You run a sales organization. Raise your hand. You run a sales organization. Okay, anybody else? Sales, who runs their own business? Who runs their own businesses? Who considers themselves a good CEO? Who considers themselves a good CEO? Yeah, it's kind of going like this. Anybody thinks they're a good CEO? A little bit maybe, right? Like you always wonder if you're good on, but I go through it myself as well. So, what's seasonal employee and what's not? We just hired somebody for 9 months. She's seasonal. She knows it. She has one job. She took every aspect of our business and she interviewed every employee. And she sat behind every employee and watched what every single one of them did. Okay? So why'd you click on that? Why'd you click on this? Why'd you click on that? Why'd you click on this? Boring stuff again. It's an $80,000 a year job. She came a stack like this 9 months later. You know what it is? Any position we have in the company now, I have a manual exactly what to do. Step by step by step. You know what that's worth? Probably $50 million. Probably $50 million. Because now I'm what? I'm replacing who? I'm replacing myself and I'm replacing everybody in the department. But there's certain employees that are not seasonal. I'm going to keep them for 3 years. Anyone knows the average lifespan of a CFO at a company? 3 years. Anybody knows the average lifespan of a CTO? 18 months to 24 months. So you hire a CTO, they leave you, people's hearts broken. I lost my CTO. How long was he with you? 2 years. No, that's the contract. They're supposed to leave you. Yeah, I lost my CFO. Listen guys, this is what CFOs do. It's very easy. CFOs do this. They come to you, you give them $200,000 a year and 1% of your company. They clean your stuff, they help you out, prepare you to go be bought by PE or go public. Then 3 years later, they leave you, they're vested, they have 1%. If your company sells for $200 million, they get what? $2 million. Thank you, it was awesome. Next, I do the same thing for you. Next, I do the same thing for you. That's seasonal. So you don't get offended when somebody leaves you. Okay, let's continue. Third one. Know the difference between replacing sales leaders and employees. Again, this is lifespan. It's a big difference when it's salespeople versus employees. Because salespeople can have a longer lifespan with you, where employees don't. Fourth one. Know who can maintain culture and add their own twist to it. How many times have you seen somebody hire an executive position that completely doesn't fit the culture? Anybody's ever seen that before? Okay, let me ask the question more personally to you. How many of you worked at a company where the CEO hired somebody and after hiring that person, they gave him too much authority, the culture within 6 months was lost? Who's ever experienced that before? How annoyed were you? You quit. I relate. You quit. So this person may have an incredible resume, but they don't fit the culture. You can't let that person run your company because they don't fit your culture. So a lot of these positions that people give of authority to some people that don't fit the culture, disaster situations here.
Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie and it started now, forget about whatever financial disasters you've had, personal failures, relationship failures. What would the hero of your life's movie do right now? Do that. Do those things. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's me. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who's learned from those failures. And you can choose to be the hero of your own movie right now. Write down your goals. Write down things you want to improve. Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself. Write down things that you've done in the past that you never want to see yourself do again. And go forth from here as the hero of your own movie. Build momentum. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision that you make from here on out. You can do it. Anyone can do it. We live in unique times. We live in one of the rarest times in human history where you can choose almost all the input that comes your way. Whether it's the movies that you watch, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, you can choose to be inspired. Do that. Do that and be the hero of your own movie.
So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power. And I don't even want you to say, I can do that. I don't want you to assume that. See, 5 years ago when I started out in this area, I would not have been able to make the mental leap that I would be up to where I am right now. I don't want you to begin to just psych yourself out. No. I want you to be able to say something to yourself that will enable you to maintain a level of integrity with yourself. That when you say this, even when you face tremendous setbacks, it will be a benchmark to keep you in the game, to keep you moving forward and experimenting and readjusting your strategy and your plan of action, continuously looking for ways to win.
How many times have you heard that saying, life is too short? That's bullshit. Life is long. Life is long as fuck, especially when you make the wrong decision. Do you have any idea what it's going to be like to live with a regret? And not just any regret, a regret that could have changed your whole fucking life. Every day you got to think about where you could be at, what you could be doing, how just different shit could be as just taking a fucking chance.
Don't you know that there's going to come a day when you'll be sick or someone close to you will die, and you'll look back on the kinds of things that captured your attention, and you'll think, what was I doing? You know this, and yet if you're like most people, you'll spend most of your time in life tacitly presuming you'll live forever. It's like watching a bad movie for the 4th time, or bickering with your spouse. These things only make sense in light of eternity. There better be a heaven if we're going to waste our time like that.